Everything you know about buying or selling a home just changed forever. But let me explain. On August 17, 2024, new rules shook up the real estate world. The 5 to 6% commission you're used to, gone. The way agents get paid, totally different. Today, I'm breaking down what these changes are and what they mean for you and your wallet. You might be wondering what sparked these massive changes in real estate. Well, it all started with a little thing called the Sitzer-Burnett lawsuit. And when I say little, I mean a whopping $418 million settlement that's shaking up the real estate industry. This wasn't just some small-time legal squabble. We're talking about a class action lawsuit that represented 260,000 home sellers in the Midwest. These folks were fed up with how real estate commissions work, and they decided to do something about it. So who did they go after? Only the biggest names in real estate, the National Association of Realtors and some major real estate companies. Now, you might be thinking, what did these big players do wrong? Here's the simple version. They were accused of working together to keep real estate commissions artificially high. Imagine you're selling your home and you're told you have to offer a certain commission amount to the buyer agent. Sounds normal, right? Well, that's exactly what the lawsuit was fighting against. The people behind the lawsuit said this practice was unfair and kept commissions higher than they should be. But when this case went to court, the jury didn't just agree with the home sellers, they hit NAR and the other companies with a verdict of nearly $1.8 billion in damages. Now, $1.8 billion is a huge amount, but NAR ended up settling for $418 million, still a massive sum, and one that's going to lead to big changes in how real estate works. Now, that's great for the lawyers, but what does it mean for you as a consumer? Well, this is where it gets good. This lawsuit wasn't just about big companies and big money. It's about making things fairer for you, whether you're buying or selling a home. Think about it this way. For years, we've all just accepted that selling a home means paying 5 to 6% commission. It was just the way things were done. But this lawsuit said, hold on a minute, why should it be this way? And the court agreed. The changes coming from the lawsuit are going to affect about 50 million people. That's right, if you sold a home through a NAR affiliated agent since October 31st, 2019, you might even be eligible for some compensation from the settlement. But it's not just about the money, it's about changing how the whole system works. The lawsuit claimed that the old way of doing things gave buyer agents an incentive to steer their clients towards homes with higher commissions. That means you might not have been shown all of the homes that could have been perfect for you or your family, just because the commissions weren't attractive to your agent. The goal now is to make everything more transparent and negotiable. You'll have more control over the agreements you make with your real estate agent. And here's the exciting part. All of this could lead to lower commission rates overall. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Lower commissions, that sounds great for sellers, but what about me as a buyer? Don't worry, I haven't forgotten about you. These changes are going to affect both sides of the real estate transaction. And in the next part of this video, we're going to dive deep into exactly how these changes will play out for both buyers and sellers alike. So what changed in August of 2024 and how will that affect you, whether you're buying a home or selling? Basically, there are 3 agreements of compensation in every transaction. A seller agrees to pay a buyer agent a commission upon selling their home. Second, a buyer pays a buyer agent an agreed commission upon buying a home. And third, the real estate purchase contract outlines the agreement of the home transaction. First up, sellers. While there was no set standard in the industry for commissions, often you saw 5 to 6% commissions. You will agree to pay your listing agent a set commission upon the home selling. You will talk with your agent and determine what compensation you might be willing to offer buyer agent. But remember, this number will now be negotiated as part of the deal, meaning a buyer agent will submit how much commission they're asking for with the offer from the buyer. Now, for the buyer side of things, there's some big changes coming your way too. The most important one, you're going to have to sign an agreement with your agent before you even start looking at homes. Now, I know what you're thinking, more paperwork, great, but hear me out. This agreement is actually designed to protect you. Here's what these new buyer agency agreements will cover. They'll spell out exactly how much your agent can get paid and they'll make it clear that commissions are fully negotiable. This means you'll know up front what you're getting into, and you'll have more control over the process. Now, there are some potential changes here, especially for first-time buyers. In the past, the seller usually covered the buyer's agent commission, but with these new rules, that might not always be the case. If a seller decides not to offer compensation to your agent, you might have to pay them yourselves. And let's be honest, when you're already dealing with high home prices and mortgage rates, that's not exactly welcome news. But don't panic. Remember, everything is negotiable. You might be able to work out a deal where the seller still covers your agent fees, or you could negotiate a lower price on the home to offset the cost. The key is to be prepared and know your options. Here's something else to keep in mind. These changes could actually lead to lower home prices in the long run. How? Well, with more competition and transparency around commissions, we might see overall costs come down. That's good news for buyers and sellers alike. Now, I know all of this, it might sound a little bit overwhelming. Change can be scary, but here's the thing. These changes are all about giving you more control and saving you more money. For sellers, you now have the ability to set your own terms when it comes to commissions. You might decide to negotiate a lower commission depending upon the sales price, or even a flat fee depending on what works best for you. And buyers, while you might have to be more involved in negotiating your agent's fees, you also have more power to shop around and find the best deal. The bottom line is this. These changes mean you need to be smarter about how you approach buying or selling. You can't just rely on the way things always have been. But that's not a bad thing. It means you have the opportunity to take charge of the process and potentially save yourselves a lot of money. To take charge of the process, you need the right game plan because you can actually use these new rules to your advantage. So let's break down exactly what you need to do, whether you're buying or selling a home. If you're planning to buy a home, the biggest change is that a new agreement you'll need to sign with your agent. This means you'll know exactly what you're getting and how much it will cost before you even start looking at houses. But here's the key. You need to know how to negotiate this agreement. First, ask your agent to explain their fee structure in detail. Don't be afraid to ask questions like, what specific services are included in this fee? How does your fee compare to other agents in the area? Remember, everything is negotiable. You might be able to get a lower rate, especially if you're a serious buyer who's ready to move quickly. Also, make sure you understand how your agent will be paid. Will you need to pay them directly, or are they still expecting the seller to cover their fee through negotiations? If it's the latter, what happens if the seller doesn't offer a commission? These are important questions to ask up front to make sure you're prepared and confident in your next decision. Now, if you're selling a home, you may no longer need to offer 5 to 6% commission. This could save you a lot of money, but you need to be smart about it. One option is to offer a lower commission rate. Maybe it's 4% instead of 6%, or you could consider a flat fee structure. Some agents now offer packages where they'll list your home for a set price regardless of how much it sells for. But here's something to keep in mind. While you want to save money, you also want to make sure that you hit your ultimate objective, and that's to sell your home with a great agent that's going to market it. A good strategy might be to consider offering a competitive rate that still attracts buyer agents, maybe something like 2 or 2.5% to the buyer's agent, and then you need to negotiate directly with your listing agent to determine what's a fair commission for them. Remember, these changes aren't just about saving money in the short term, they could actually lead to some big shifts in the real estate market. With more competition and transparency around commissions, we might see home prices come down over time. That's good news for buyers and could mean a more balanced market overall. Here's something else to think about. These changes might lead to more specialized services in real estate. You might see agents who offer a la carte services like staging homes or just handling paperwork and negotiations. In the future, you might be able to pick and choose exactly what services you need and pay accordingly. The most important thing to remember is that knowledge truly is power in this new real estate world. Don't be afraid to ask questions, negotiate, and shop around for the best deal. Whether you're buying or selling, make sure you understand exactly what services you're getting and how much they will cost. So what now? It's time to get ready. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, start planning your strategy today by subscribing to my channel for all of your real estate knowledge, but also think about what you want and need from a real estate agent and how much you're willing to pay them. Remember, in this new world of real estate, knowledge is your biggest advantage. And if you want more real estate knowledge, here is a video that YouTube recommends.